Your password was just cracked. It took 22 minutes. 22 minutes. That is how long it takes a hacker with a $1,600 graphics card to crack an 8-character password. Not a supercomputer. Not a government lab. A gaming GPU you can buy on Amazon. If your password is only 6 characters, it falls instantly. Not in hours. Not in minutes. The moment the attack begins, it is already over. And right now, more than 13 billion stolen credentials are circulating on the internet. Your email, your bank login, your streaming account. Odds are, at least one of them has already been compromised. Most people think hackers are typing code into terminals, guessing one password at a time. The reality is far worse. Modern password cracking is automated, industrialized, and terrifyingly fast. And the defenses most people rely on were obsolete years ago. The scale of the password crisis is staggering. In January 2019, a security researcher named Troy Hunt discovered a massive data dump called Collection Number 1. It contained 773 million unique email addresses and 21 million unique passwords, all harvested from years of data breaches and dumped on a hacking forum for anyone to download. 2 years later, a dataset called RockU 2021 appeared with 8.4 billion password entries. That is more entries than there are people on Earth. And these are not isolated incidents. The breach tracking service Have I Been Pawned now indexes over 13 billion compromised accounts. Here is where it gets personal. A 2019 Google survey found that 65% of people reuse the same password across multiple accounts. The average person manages over 100 online accounts, but uses only 5 to 6 unique passwords. That means a single breach does not just expose one account. It hands attackers the keys to dozens of others. So how do hackers actually crack passwords? The first method is brute force. A computer tries every possible combination of characters until it finds a match. An 8-character password using only lowercase letters has 208 billion possible combinations. That sounds like a lot, until you learn that an NVIDIA RTX 4090 GPU can calculate 164 billion MD5 hashes per second. That is 208 billion combinations finished in 22 minutes. Add uppercase letters, numbers, and symbols, and you get 6.6 quadrillion possibilities. That takes longer, but cloud computing lets attackers rent clusters of 8 high-end GPUs, multiplying their speed by 10 or more. The second method is dictionary attacks. Instead of trying random combinations, hackers use word lists compiled from previous breaches. The most famous is the RockU list, leaked in 2009 when 32 million plaintext passwords were exposed. That list revealed the most common passwords in existence. 123456. Password, QWERTY, ABC123. They have been the top passwords for over a decade. Modern dictionary attacks apply rules on top. Capitalize the first letter, add an exclamation point, swap letters for numbers. These rules alone crack roughly 70% of real-world passwords. The third method is rainbow tables. These are pre-computed lookup tables where every possible password has already been hashed. Instead of calculating the hash in real time, the attacker simply looks it up. A complete rainbow table for 8-character alphanumeric MD5 hashes takes about 1.5 terabytes of storage. But once loaded, the lookup takes seconds. The defense against rainbow tables is salting, adding random data to each password before hashing. Modern systems like BCRYPT and Argon 2 do this automatically. But millions of legacy systems still store passwords with unsalted MD5 or SHA-1. These techniques are not theoretical. They cause real damage every single day. Credential stuffing is the most widespread attack. Hackers take leaked username and password pairs from one breach and try them on hundreds of other services. In 2020 alone, Akamai detected 193 billion credential stuffing attempts worldwide. In 2024, Roku disclosed that 576,000 customer accounts were compromised through credential stuffing. Not because Roku was hacked, because those customers used the same password on Roku that they used on a service that had already been breached. And then there is phishing. According to the 2024 Verizon Data Breach Investigations report, phishing was involved in 36% of all data breaches. The median time for a user to click a phishing link was 21 seconds after the email arrived. The median time to enter credentials on the fake page was 28 seconds after clicking. In under a minute, a victim hands over their password willingly, believing they are logging into a legitimate site. The stolen credentials end up on dark web marketplaces where a single corporate email login sells for $10 to $50, and a verified bank account login can fetch hundreds. So what actually works? The single most effective defense is multi-factor authentication. Microsoft published research in 2019 showing that MFA blocks 99.9% of automated attacks. Even if a hacker has your password, they cannot get in without the second factor. But despite that 99.9% figure, only 57% of Microsoft Enterprise accounts had MFA enabled as of 2023. The second defense is a password manager. Only 30% of Americans use one, according to a 2023 Security.org survey. A password manager generates and stores unique, complex passwords for every account. You remember one master password. The software handles the rest. The third shift is an official guidance. NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, updated its digital identity guidelines to recommend minimum 8-character passwords, checking passwords against known breached lists, and eliminating forced password rotation. That last point surprised many organizations. Forced rotation, changing your password every 90 days, actually makes security worse because people choose weaker, predictable patterns to cope with constant changes. The future of passwords is already arriving. Passkeys, built on the FIDO2 and WebAuthn standards, replace passwords entirely with cryptographic key pairs stored on your device. Apple, Google, and Microsoft have all adopted passkeys across their platforms. Instead of typing a password, you authenticate with a fingerprint, face scan, or device PIN. The private key never leaves your device. There is nothing to steal, nothing to phish, nothing to crack. Hardware security keys like YubiKey offer the strongest protection available today, immune to phishing attacks because they verify the actual website domain before authenticating. Biometric authentication is expanding rapidly, with 78% of smartphones now supporting fingerprint or face recognition. Passwords are not dead yet. Billions of legacy systems still depend on them. But the direction is clear. The era of typing 8 characters and hoping for the best is ending. The question is whether you will upgrade your security before or after your accounts are compromised. If you found this eye-opening, subscribe to Cyber Decoded. Next time, we are revealing how one teenager took down the entire internet with a single line of code.